And it looks like a few of the Oscar Mike players are switching over to the Connecticut Jammers team for this round of action. Actually, it looks like it's going to be a mixed squad competition. Oscar Mike in black, Connecticut Jammers in white. And so Chris Hall for Oscar Mike loses the ball. Can he collect it before it goes out? No, it can't, but Chris Hall goes out and he is on the floor, so we're gonna help him get upright again. Still scoreless. Hull did not cross over the line before he hit that cone. So it looks like Ben DeRosa is going to go into the penalty area for Oscar Mike. So a player advantage for the next 60 seconds or until someone scores. Mason Simons with the ball. The pass down the floor to Smith. Smith, nice grab. Smith circles around as he's being defended by Hull. And Smith makes it through for the first point. Connecticut Jammers on the board, 1-0 the score. And a turnover and another quick score. Connecticut Jammers up 2-0 on Oscar Mike. Now Hull close to that sideline, but it makes it through. Now Hull pushing his way along. DeRosa couldn't handle that ball, and so now Simons is going to pick it up, and he's looking for a pass. Now that ball stripped away by Hull, but it's going to be a throw-in for the Connecticut Jammers. Again, if you're just joining us and it looks like some of the Oscar Mike players are in white and some of them are in black, and vice versa for the Connecticut Jammers, you are not being deceived by your eyes. This is essentially a mixed squad match. A couple of the Oscar Mike players playing for the Connecticut Jammers and vice versa. Turnover by the Jammers, so Oscar Mike will throw in. And Stokes does nicely there to just reach in and disrupt that pass. So Stone throws in. And again, Oscar Mike will throw in. Michael Stokes doing a good job of just disrupting that throw, and now Hull's got it. Hull has to be careful then. Now it looks like Joel Rodriguez is going to go into the penalty area. See, it looks like he's going to be called for reaching in, so he will sit out for a few moments. Hull now heading down the floor unimpeded, so he's going to score the first point for Oscar Mike. And Rodriguez will come back into the match. Brett Smith with the ball. And he's going to head down the floor and score another point for the Jammers. Hull gets hooked by Smith. Now Hull coming down the floor. The pass over to DeRosa. DeRosa couldn't hold on to it. He got his hands on it, but Simons gave him just enough of a bump to throw him off balance. And that's a turnover in favor of the Jammers. So Joel Rodriguez will throw the ball into Simons. Now a long pass over to Smith, who scores another point. Connecticut 4-1. Simons intercepts that pass and scores another point for the Jammers. 5-1 the score. Now another turnover. Smith grabs the ball for the Jammers, and the Jammers starting things quickly here. Hull inbounding the pass. Hull receives it right back. Bounce pass, DeRosa picks it up. DeRosa bracing himself. He knew that hit was coming from Rodriguez, but he holds onto the ball, and Stokes almost strips that one away, and now he's looking for Stone, but his pass is blocked. Now over to Hull. Hull scores for Oscar Mike. 6-2 the score. Simons with the ball. Birch tried to push him out. Now, a pass that's received by Joel Rodriguez. Hull bumps him, but he's over the line before he hits that cone. DeRosa grabs that ball. Simons almost pushes him out of bounds, but he's still in. Now the pass bounces off of Smith, but Joe Stone there to collect it for Oscar Mike. And Stone scores. Smith looking to pass in. Simons is there. Simons is going to go in and score. And so Hull, who's being trapped by Rodriguez and Stokes, is going to call himself to throw in the ball to free him out of that trap. Birch tries to hold on to Simons, but Simons and Stokes traps Hull. And the ball's loose. Stone the last to touch it. Simons picks it up. Connecticut Jammers looking to score another point. Stokes grabs it and scores. 9-3 the score in favor of the Connecticut Jammers. Simons at a turnover. Stone threw it right to him. And Rodriguez will score another point for the Jammers. Looks like we're going to get some substitutions for Oscar Mike here in just a few moments. Robert Schuler, Larry Porter, and Ryan Lindstrom all slated to come in, it appears. Hull working his way down the floor. Smith stops him. Hull loses the ball. Stokes couldn't pick it up. DeRosa now looking to pick it up, and he can't control it. So a turnover. Connecticut Jammers will throw in. And it looks like Hull will stay on. Birch, Stone, and DeRosa will all come off. We've got a timeout for Connecticut. So while we have a moment, on the other side, on court 2, MedStar Punishers and Northeast Passage Wildcats. Trying to get a score for you over here. Looks like Connecticut also making a substitution here, a couple substitutions. Coming into the match for Connecticut, number 55, Michael Delisle. Also number 22, Noah Smith, in for Stokes and Rodriguez. And that ball off of Lindstrom. Simons picks it up and calls a timeout. So let's see. They're all Connecticut's going back to the bench for a moment. I'll wait to see who takes the throw-in for them. .349 left to go here. Connecticut Jammers 10. Oscar Mike 3. On the other court, MedStar Punishers 10. Northeast Passage Wildcats 8. 2:30 left to go in the first period over there. Simons with the ball for the Jammers. Simons works his way through. He's stopped by the Oscar Mike defense, but the pass over to Noah Smith results in another point for the Jammers. Lindstrom with the ball. Smith coming over to cut him off. Brett Smith. Lindstrom spins away and scores. Oscar Mike now with point number 4. Trying to strip that ball away from Smith, but he does well to hold on to it. The pass over to Simons. Now it looks like Simons was out of bounds, and so this is going to be a throw-in for Oscar Mike. And we're going to have a stoppage and play for equipment as the trainer runs out to replace a tire for Brett Smith. All right, Smith is set and ready to go once again. Hull looking for a pass, long pass down the floor, and Noah Smith is going to pick that one up for the Jammers, and he passes it off to Simons, who will now try to work his way back up the floor. Brett Smith receiving that pass, and the Jammers looking to extend their lead. And that's going to be a turnover. Noah Smith going out of bounds before the ball did. Otherwise, that would have been Connecticut ball. But as it stands, it's going to be a throw-in for Oscar Mike. 2:41 left to go here in this first period. Hull going to just race over the line, give Noah Smith a little bump. And Brett Smith could not hold on to that ball. Can he get it before it goes out of bounds? He does. No defensive pressure there, so easy for Smith to pick that ball up. Simons over to Smith. Smith going to try to push his way through, but Porter and Lindstrom have him pinched right at the line there, and a timeout called. Connecticut Jammers will throw in. Simons over to Brett Smith, and he was over the line before Hull could rip that ball out of there. So a throw in for Oscar Mike. Looks like Larry Porter will do the honors. Hull. Fake to pass over to Lindstrom, and he's just going to take that one over the line himself. And a turnover in favor of Oscar Mike. Chris Hull picks up the ball. He's going to score another point. And Delisle loses the ball. Hull is going to pick it up, and Oscar Mike going to rattle off a couple points in a row potentially here. It looks like there was a 4 in the key violation. Porter has got Hull as an option, and that's where he's going with it. But Hull loses the ball. Can he pick it up before he gets over the line? He does. Smith to Delisle. Now Delisle being harassed by Hull, and a timeout called by the Jammers. Simons with the ball for the Connecticut Jammers. Simons no space to cross the line. He passes to Smith, who loses the ball. Simons picks it right back up. And a behind the back pass to Noah Smith. And no point for the Jammers, so that fancy pass will be all for naught as Oscar Mike now moves the ball back up the floor. Hull racing, Smith trying to get to him before Hull can get to the line, and he does. Good job by Brett Smith. 13 seconds left to go in the first period. Hull just holding on. Let's see if they try to bump him over the line. And Hull is just going to hold the ball. 2.1 seconds left on the clock. First period almost over. Smith can't catch that ball. Hull collects it and just throws it back. And that's going to be the end of the first period. Connecticut Jammers in the lead by 3, 12-9 the score. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, the second period, you are watching the 2018 Rugby Rampage. Second period about to begin, and it looks like Joel Rodriguez is going to come into the match for the Connecticut Jammers. Along with Michael Stokes. Looks like there was a little bit of confusion there, so Rodriguez is out for the moment. Stokes is in the match. Simons passes over to Stokes. Stokes trapped by Lindstrom and Porter. And Lindstrom takes that pass away. Lindstrom looking to pass down the floor, and Josh Birch is there for Oscar Mike. And he's going to take that in for another point. Oscar Mike making a comeback here. So it looks like a substitution for Connecticut. Michael Delisle coming on in his place is Joe Graham. So Stokes passing in to Simons. Simons stopped before the line. Now Noah Smith with the ball. He's going to circle around. And Ben DeRosa stopped him and knocked him into the cone before. Actually, let's see, no, the referee signaled the point, so 13-10 the score. Looked like for a moment that it was going to be a turnover for Connecticut, but they ended up scoring the point. DeRosa on the other side for Oscar Mike scoring. Smith with a pass over to Simons, who bumps it, intended for Graham, but Graham was just right behind Robert Schuler over here, so a turnover in favor of Oscar Mike. Now Noah Smith coming off in place of Brett Smith. Lindstrom with the ball for Oscar Mike. Lindstrom slowed down by Smith. The pass over to DeRosa for another point. Oscar Mike down by 1. Smith collects that ball. Nicely done before it goes out of bounds. And now Smith trapped by Lindstrom and DeRosa. Smith looking for a passing option. Lindstrom is there. Simons gets the ball. The pass out to Stokes, who gets the ball. Can Stokes get over the line? Yes, he can. On court 2, MedStar Punishers up on the Northeast Passage Wildcats, 22-11. And there's another turnover. Josh Birch turning it over to Smith. And a point for Connecticut. Oscar Mike making it close, but Connecticut's starting to pull away again a little bit. Lindstrom trying to get around Simons. Brett Smith is there. Now, Lindstrom looked like he was almost over the line. It was very close. And a pass to Brett Smith is going to collect that and score another point for the Connecticut Jammers. Over the line for Oscar Mike.
Where do you got to be now? There it is. That's where you got to be. Grab number 8.
Simons thought he saw an opening, but he has to pass the ball off to Stokes, who will score a point for the Jammers. 5:12 left to go here in this second period. Lindstrom with the ball. Birch calling for it. Lindstrom doesn't have an option to pass to him, so Lindstrom's just going to take it himself. Good defense by Connecticut, but Lindstrom able to get around Smith. Simons with a long pass down the floor. DeRosa trying to outrace Smith, and he does, and he cuts Smith off. That's a turnover in favor of Oscar Mike. Now, the men in black with an opportunity to cut this lead down to 2. Lindstrom with the ball. The pass to DeRosa, and DeRosa holds on to it just barely. It looked like he kind of used his head to press the ball against his hands to hold on to it, but however you have to make it work, well done. And now the lead is down to 2. Pass, Smith loses the ball, and now Lindstrom is going to cut the lead down to 1. And Oscar Mike trailing now 17-16 the score. Looks like Connecticut's going to make a substitution in just a few moments. Looks like Damian Dalton is slated to come into the match. And another turnover and an opportunity for Oscar Mike to tie this score up.
Birch, you're staying. Rob, you're off. Wait for Larry, Rob. Hey, Rob, wait for Larry. We'll have them. Chill, leave that, chill.
Hull streaking down the floor. Smith gets there and he knocks him off his path, but it's not enough to stop him from scoring. Now that ball, another turnover. And so a throw in coming up in just a moment. It looks like Joe Stone's going to throw in for Oscar Mike. Hull with the ball. Oscar Mike with an opportunity to take the lead. And Stone loses control of the ball. And that was a great opportunity for Oscar Mike to take the lead. But Connecticut now will get a chance to reestablish their lead here. So Simon's using Dalton as a screen to draw some defenders in. Now Simon's just going to back himself over the line. Nice move. Connecticut back on top, 18-17. Hull almost takes out the referee.
Stop right there.
Tied at 18. Mason Simons with the ball. Simons with a long pass down the floor. Is Brett Smith going to be able to collect it? He does. Stone is there, but Smith just circles around him and scores another point. Just a little over 3 minutes left to go here in the half. Connecticut Jammers up by 1. Chris Hall ties it up once again.
Brett, you gotta come lower. Brett, you gotta come down.
Brett, this way.
Down, towards the ball, towards the ball.
That ball, a long ball down the floor. No one's going to get there to collect it, though.
Hey, Brett, keep working. Keep working.
So a throw in for Oscar Mike. And a chance to reclaim the lead. Hull passes to Stone. Stone's going to cross the line and score a point. Oscar Mike back in the lead. 20-19 the score. Smith very close to that sideline here. And a jump ball. Possession arrow in favor of Oscar Mike. Looks like maybe Dalton went out of bounds, and that's what it looks like here. So Joe Stone, well, he's at the sideline right now. Somebody went out of bounds. It was Damian Dalton, so Dalton is going to go into the penalty area. And Oscar Mike chance to take a 2-point lead. Porter looking to pass to Stone, but Stone's not going to get there. Hull, however, cleans up and scores another point. Stokes with a pass. It's going to get cut off by Stone. Joe Stone over to Hull. Stone, that pass just out of reach, a little too long. So Mason Simons for the Connecticut Jammers going to throw in. .139 left to go before halftime. Long pass down the floor. Smith, that one bounces off of his chair, so a turnover. Oscar Mike will throw in. Hull will take that ball, score a point. 1:22 left in this second period. We've got a timeout on the court. And it looks like Michael Stokes, his wheel wasn't flat, but it just kind of came off the axle a little bit, so the trainer comes out, puts the wheel back into place. Stone takes that ball and scores another point for Oscar Mike. Now the lead is 4. Simons looking for a passing option, so he just bumps it off of Birch for another throw-in because he had no options. Simons looking to pass down the floor against Stokes is there, but that ball behind Stokes, and now it's a race, but Hull stops Smith right in his tracks, and Smith takes a tumble onto the court, so take a moment to get him back into the upright position. Smith getting his feet put back in place. He says he's okay.
Are you good?
Birch loses that ball. DeRosa tries to pick it up. Dalton tries to knock it away, but Hull picks it up for Oscar Mike. And Hull almost started going the wrong way. Now that he's got his bearings set again, he's going to go over the line. The point differential now 5 in favor of Oscar Mike. It looks like Noah Smith is set to return for the Connecticut Jammers. Brett Smith taking the ball down the floor. Hull going to try to stop him, but Smith gets around him, and he's going to score a point for the Connecticut Jammers. Jammers breaking a dry spell there. There were a few minutes where they weren't able to score, so now we are at 24-20 in favor of Oscar Mike. 50 seconds left to go here in this first half. Hull breaks right through that Jammers defense. And Hull is just going to hold on to the ball for a moment, bring that clock down some, and a 4 in the key violation on the Connecticut Jammers. And it looks like Michael Stokes is going to go into the penalty area. Joe Stone going to throw in. Stone over to Hull. And Hull has 30 seconds. He can run the clock pretty much all the way down to the end. So he's just going to hold on to it and try to score, leaving as little time on the clock as possible. Hull met by Simons. DeRosa with the ball. DeRosa holding for just a moment, and then he goes over the line after Simons tries to swipe the ball away. Simons with a long ball down the floor. Smith, that ball over his head, and Hull stops him. Stokes isn't going to be able to get there in time. That's a turnover in favor of Oscar Mike. 2.3 seconds left. Now, no one touched that ball, so this throw-in is going to come from the Oscar Mike corner. 2.3 seconds is certainly enough time to score, so let's see if Oscar Mike can increase their lead to 6 before the end of the half. Joe Stone going to throw in. Stone over to DeRosa. DeRosa gets over the line.
Right, turn around and go.
Now the clock says 3.5 seconds. Simons isn't going to get there in time, so there's the buzzer. We are going into halftime. Oscar Mike, after trailing for most of the first and part of the second, have taken the lead. It is 26-20. We're going to take a break. When we come back the second half, you are watching the 2018 Rugby Rampage. Halftime is just about over. We're getting ready to start the second half. Oscar Mike up 26-20 over the Connecticut Jammers. For ParaSportsLive, I'm Tony Jackson. I want to thank you all once again for joining us, and I'd like to remind you all that if you enjoy the coverage that we are providing for you this weekend and you'd like to support our mission in broadcasting adaptive sports to people around the world, please feel free to check out the description in this YouTube video and click on the link to our GoFundMe page and help support us as we work on, again, bringing adaptive sports to people everywhere and raising the awareness of all the athletes out here that train and compete all over the world. There's a turnover in favor of Oscar Mike. Josh Birch with the turnover. Chris Hall now with it. And he's going to score another point for Oscar Mike. Start out this second half. It looks like Joel Rodriguez is going to take the throw in for the Connecticut Jammers. Smith going to take that pass from Simons, and he is going to score for the Connecticut Jammers. On the other court, MedStar Punishers 40, Northeast Passage Wildcats 21. 6 minutes to go in the third period there. Josh Birch with the ball. And Birch gets absolutely slammed by Mason Simons. So we're going to have a stoppage in play while they pick up Birch off the court. See, it looks like the chairs are stuck together a little bit. A little smirk on the face of Mason Simons. I mean, Simons is probably at least double the weight of Josh Birch, so even the smallest hit sent Birch to the floor. So he looks like he's okay. Everybody's smiling. Josh Birch, maybe 100 pounds soaking wet, but he's still out there working defense. But Simons breaks right through that and scores another point. Connecticut Jammers cutting the lead down. Still plenty of time for them to make a comeback here. Porter going to chase that ball, but Smith cuts off Porter and forces a turnover. Great position for a throw-in. Connecticut Jammers will take it from right at the corner here near their line. So a chance to cut the lead down a little bit further. Rodriguez going to take the throw. Smith going to try to help clear out some space. Simons passes the ball off to Smith. Nice pass. Just as he was getting turned around, and Smith scores for the Connecticut Jammers. Hull now for Oscar Mike. Rodriguez and Smith combine to defend Hull. Porter came up to receive the pass, but Hull elected to call a timeout. Porter with the ball, and Porter racing down the floor. Rodriguez is going to try to catch him. Porter makes it over the line. Simons for the Connecticut Jammers. Larry Porter with the ball, and he has to call timeout. 12 seconds was almost up, so Oscar Mike is going to retain control. They had to call a timeout to do so. .6:22 left to go here in this third period. The lead is 4 in favor of Oscar Mike. And on the other side, 4 minutes left in the third. MedStar Punishers up by 19. 43-24 the score. Turnover in favor of Oscar Mike. Porter calling for the ball, but Rodriguez nearly rips it away, but the possession area points in favor of Oscar Mike. Now Rodriguez almost got that ball. Stone will throw in. Porter will collect it, but Porter, that ball off of his fingertips. Simons comes in to take the ball, and the Jammers will score another point. The lead is now down to 3. Rodriguez, Smith, everybody trying to get a hold of Hull, but Hull just weaves his way through everybody. Chris Hull turning on the moves and scoring another point. Oscar Mike lead back up to 4. Simons looking for Smith, Brett Smith, but Smith not really open. And that ball off of his fingertips, he turns around, can't collect it, and Hull picks it up for Oscar Mike. Now Chris Hull trying to work his way around. Hull scores another point. Oscar Mike lead back to 5. Brett Smith with the ball for the Jammers. Brett Smith trying to get around Hull. The pass over to Noah Smith. Smith over the line. Hull takes another spill. Looks like his feet kind of came out of place there, so the support staff out there working to make sure he gets back in proper positioning. Porter with the ball, looking for a passing option. Hull's there. Hull racing up the floor. Simons bumps him out of bounds. And so a turnover in favor of the Connecticut Jammers. Rodriguez looking to pass into Simons. Simons over to Brett Smith. Robert Schuler holds him off. Nicely done. The pass over to Noah Smith. Another point for the Jammers, and the lead is now down to 3. 4:55 left to go here in this third period. Joe Stone looking for an option. Stone, nothing clear, but Chris Hull frees himself to take that ball. And now Hull heading down the floor. Simons cut off by Porter. Nicely done. Joe Stone, good block there. And Hull will take it in for another point. Looks like the Connecticut Jammers are poised for a couple substitutions in just a moment. Michael Stokes prepared to come back in. Nice little pass to himself. Mason Simons takes that ball and scores another point. Porter, the pass to Hull. Brett Smith trying to get in front of Hull, but he can't get there in time. Noah Smith looking for Simons. Simons is trying to back his way through that Oscar Mike defense, and he does. Simons, the pass over to Brett Smith. Point for the Jammers.
Let's go, Black.
So we're going to get a couple of substitutions for Connecticut. It looks like Michael Delisle and Michael Stokes are both going to come on. .358 left to go here. Third period. Quick update from the other court. MedStar Punishers 46, Northeast Passage Wildcats 27. 1:03 left to go in the third period. Lindstrom passing over to DeRosa. Then DeRosa stopped by Simons. DeRosa almost has that ball stripped away. Loose ball. Simons looks to pick it up, and he does. And the over-the-shoulder pass to Brett Smith. And the Jammers scored another point. And it looks like Simons has sustained an injury. Caught something in his eye there, so play continues, he's going to stay in. Lindstrom loses the ball. Simons collects it. Simons over the shoulder pass Stokes, the intended recipient, and he picks it up after Burge almost grabbed the ball. Stokes looking to push through. Stokes with a point, and the Connecticut Jammers have cut that lead down to 1. It looks like it's actually 32-30. So the lead is 2. Official scoreboard says 32-30, so it is now 33. Then DeRosa scores for Oscar Mike. See, it looks like there is a little bit of confusion on the scorer's table. Lindstrom with the ball. Lindstrom trying to get around Simons, but Simons strips it away. So now that we've got the scoreboard straightened out, it is 33-32. Oscar Mike in the lead. Lindstrom over the line. Smith with the ball. DeRosa tries to cut him off, but Smith, a nice tight turn to get behind DeRosa and another point. Simons comes in and takes it away. Great defense, and now the match is all tied up once again. 34 all. 2 minutes left to go in the third period. Oscar Mike looking to retake the lead. Nice defense there by Stokes. It's going to be a throw-in for Oscar Mike. It looks like Joel Rodriguez coming out of the match, coming on in his place. Number 22, Noah Smith. Lindstrom with the ball. Lindstrom passes it off to Birch. Birch is going to take it in for another point. Oh, Birch takes that ball away. Stokes didn't see him right there in front of him. And so another quick point for Oscar Mike. Their lead is back up to 2. And another turnover, but a throw-in. Well, throw-in, it looks like, for Oscar Mike. Let's see. Stokes is actually going to set up on defense. It is an Oscar Mike throw-in. So 2 quick turnovers by the Jammers gives Oscar Mike an opportunity to extend their lead back up to 3 after the match was tied moments ago. Birch. DeRosa with the ball. DeRosa trying to back his way over the line. And he does. Oscar Mike. The lead back up to 3-1. 31 left to go here in this third period. That ball stripped away by Brett Smith. DeRosa, the pass to Smith, or excuse me, that was Joe Stone. Couldn't collect it, so a throw in for the Jammers. Brett Smith with the ball. Smith scores for the Jammers. DeRosa with the ball, breaking free. DeRosa, the pass. Joe Stone loses the ball. Now Stokes almost goes over, but he maintains his balance. Now Noah Smith with the ball. The Jammers looking to tie it up. 46 seconds left to go in the third period. And Noah Smith is going to score for the Jammers. We are tied at 37. Stone, a blind pass that goes right to Brett Smith, and now the Jammers with an opportunity to take the lead, and they do. 34 seconds left in the third, and the Connecticut Jammers are now up 38-37. Stone with the ball, cut off by Brett and Noah Smith. Another pass that almost gets away, but Ben DeRosa nicely done to pick that up. That ball was certainly loose for a few moments. Stone can't collect it. Still in play. Stokes now with the ball. Stokes has no one to pass to. Oh, Brett Smith now breaks away. Now Smith looking to collect the ball. Josh Birch racing. And right as the buzzer sounds, Brett Smith scores a point for the Connecticut Jammers. And that's how we're going to end the third period. Jammers back in the lead. 39-37 is the score. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the final 8 minutes of this match. Oscar Mike, Connecticut Jammers, you're watching the 2018 Rugby Rampage. Connecticut Jammers 39, Oscar Mike 37, the score for ParaSportsLive. I'm Tony Jackson. Got a good match going on here. If you're just joining us, this is a mixed squad match. Players from Oscar Mike playing for the Connecticut Jammers and vice versa. Some Jammers playing for Oscar Mike. That ball out of bounds, so a throw in for Oscar Mike. Ben DeRosa with the ball, trapped there between two Jammer defenders, and he has to call a timeout. He didn't have any passing options, and he really wasn't able to get out of there, so DeRosa forced to call a timeout. So Josh Birch throwing it in. Porter now with the ball. Porter dangerously close to that sideline. Porter passes it in, ball is loose. Birch racing to collect it before it goes out of bounds. Is he going to get it? Yes, he does. Nicely done, Josh Birch. Point for Oscar Mike. Lyle, the pass back to Simons. Actually, my mistake, that was Joe Graham. Now Smith with the ball, nicely done. Joe Stone had hands in his face, and Smith scores a point for the Jammers. Pass to Stone. Stone's got it. Stone's going to score for Oscar Mike. Simons tries to thread the needle, and Joel Rodriguez there to collect it. DeRosa almost got a hand on it. Porter working his way around. Porter passes the ball to Stone. And Stone collected. Stone's not going to catch up to it. Right idea, but he just wasn't quick enough to get to that ball. So it's going to be a turnover in favor of the Connecticut Jammers. Graham drops it off to Simons. Rodriguez now with the ball. Joel Rodriguez gets hooked by DeRosa. Simons is there and takes the ball for the Jammers. Pass to Smith, cut off by Birch and Stone. Good defense by Oscar Mike. Simons waiting to make his move, and now Simons trying to go behind Stone. He passes off to Rodriguez. Rodriguez is trapped, passes off to Simons. Now Simons touches the cone, and so that's a turnover in favor of Oscar Mike. Heading down the floor, looking to pass to Stone, and he does. Stone picks it up. Joe Stone scores for Oscar Mike. Simons looking to make a pass. Noah Smith trying to create some space and break free. Now Rodriguez is open. Birch cuts him off, however. Simons still holding onto the ball. 40 seconds to score. Time certainly winding down here. Simons over to Noah Smith. Smith cut off by Stone. Good interception, Joe Stone. And a blind pass now. DeRosa going to try to get it before it rolls out of bounds. Can DeRosa get to it? No, he can't. He reaches for it. He swatted at the ball, but it was just beyond his fingertips. So Rodriguez going to throw the inbound pass for the Connecticut Jammers. And it's punched out by Birch. And the Jammers looking to substitute here. But the referee did not see the signal, so they're going to have to wait for a few moments. Simons pointing down the floor, looking for a long pass to Smith. It's cut off by Porter. Porter over to Stone, Joe Stone. Scoring a point for Oscar Mike, and we are tied once again at 41. We're going to get a few substitutions now. It looks like it's going to be a total lineup change for the Connecticut Jammers. Simons, and it looks like Birch lost a tire. Somebody lost a tire. We'll find out who it was exactly. It was either Birch or Simons. That ball rolling out of bounds, and it is Mason Simons. Lost a tire. We are going to get a complete lineup change for the Connecticut Jammers coming into the match. Michael Stokes, Brett Smith, Michael Delisle, as well as Damian Dalton. Connecticut trying to work the ball around Smith as their Birch stops him. But Smith pushes through and gets around Birch. 3:45 to go. We're tied at 41. And Brett Smith is calling a timeout. Looks like he popped a tire. So we restart play. Brett Smith has the ball. And Brett Smith scores a point. Jammers back on top.
Go to the ball.
Porter works his way through. Nice pick there by Josh Birch. Stokes tries to stop Porter, but Porter pushes his way through. .319 to go. Now, who's going to get to that ball first? It looks like Porter is going to get there, but he can't control it. Porter, though, catches up to it. He still can't corral the ball. So a throw-in for Connecticut coming up. Stokes over to Smith. Birch trying to stop Smith, but Brett Smith trying to push his way through. Nicely done by Birch, but there's a turnover for Connecticut. Joe Stone had stripped the ball away before Smith crossed the line. So good defense by Oscar Mike, and Birch now going to inbound for Oscar Mike. Stokes and Porter racing. Stokes does well to hold off Porter for just a moment, but with no help, Porter is just going to roll over the line, and Oscar Mike regains the lead. 43-42 the score, 2:52 left to go in the match. On court two, a final score, MedStar Punishers 59, Northeast Passage 36. And with that, the MedStar Punishers, I believe, are going to come away with not only the victory, but the first place trophy for this 2018 Rugby Rampage. They went not only undefeated, but far far and away the largest goal differential during this competition. Another point for Oscar Mike. Brett Smith trying to move past Stone. Smith gives the ball a dribble. Stokes nicely done to pick off DeRosa, but Porter's there. Stone's back there again. Good defense by Oscar Mike. And now Delisle with the ball. Delisle holding on to it, trying to retain control. Jump ball, possession arrow in favor of Connecticut. They trail by 1. 44-43, 2 minutes left to go in this match. This one's going to come down to the wire, folks. Let's see who can end up on top once the clock hits all zeros. Smith tries to break his way through, and he does. Tied once again. Smith trying to stop Porter, but nicely done by Joe Stone to cut Smith off. Porter will go easily over the line. 1:35 to go. 1 point separating these two teams at the moment. And there's a potential turnover by Connecticut. And Oscar Mike with a chance, but Stone couldn't pick up the ball. Smith now races in and tries to collect it. Smith can't get it. Stone is there, Birch is there, Porter there for Oscar Mike, trying to stop Smith from collecting the ball. Stokes is there, and he's the one that comes up with it. Michael Stokes with the ball. 1:14 left to go in the pass to Smith. Smith collects it. Stone pushes his way over the line. Smith pushes his way over the line. Joe Stone trying to stop him. We're tied at 45, 1:10 to go. Porter, the pass to Stone. Can Stone collect it? Yes, he does. We are now under a minute. Can the Jammers come back, tie the game, and potentially even take the lead? Smith almost lost that ball. That would have been a fatal turnover, but Smith collects it, passes it off to Stokes. DeRosa trying to steal the ball. Timeout called. And it looks like Connecticut Jammers are going to call a timeout. And Joel Rodriguez poised to re-enter the match as we enter the final moments.
Spread the court.
Smith collects it. DeRosa can't stop him. Brett Smith over the line. 40 seconds to go.
Hey, White, 100% defense right now.
We're tied at 46.
100% defense right now. 100% defense right now.
Oscar Mike going to hold on to the ball to score the last point, and if they're successful, they will win the match. Porter with the ball.
Brett, play the ball. Hard pressure on the ball. Hard pressure, make a decision. Hard pressure on the ball.
Porter's got the ball, 12 seconds left. Porter will score. Porter looking to pass the ball. Stone with it. Can Stone get over the line before the end of the match? Stone gets over the line. 4.2 seconds to go. Oscar Mike in the lead. Can Connecticut get down the floor? Not a lot of time left. Brett Smith all the way down the floor. Nobody's touched it yet. Birch now has control of the ball. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to end the match. Oscar Mike scoring. With under 10 seconds to go, Joe Stone scores the game-winning point, and Oscar Mike is going to come away with a victory. 47-46 the final score. What a fantastic match, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed that action there, and Again, if you are watching and you like what we do, feel free to support ParaSportsLive. There's a link right there in that YouTube description box for our GoFundMe page. We thank you for your support. And we will be back in just a few minutes with the final match from the 2018 Rugby Rampage. We'll see you in about 10 minutes.